What's up, guys? Daemonxel back with another Glyph guide video. Today, Road to Rivendale. Let's talk about it. Alright, so we are talking about the Road to Rivendale squad. That's right, the iconic group. Strider, Pippin, Frodo, Merry, Sam. We're talking about what glyphs work best with them. Now, guys, also, because I've seen some comments on the previous videos, when I'm talking about the glyphs, these are just initials glyph sets that we're putting on that I feel that work best with the team currently in setup, and it's for all areas of the game, not just the raids, but also for arena and possibly looking down the road towards that multi-squad PvP as well. What I think would work best there. So let's start off with Strider, the leader of the group here. And as soon as my BlueStacks wants to load up, there it is. Now, as you can see, my team is not super built up at all. I don't really use this team for raiding. I use Pippin in Chapter 4, also in Chapter 3 with some other teams. Obviously, I need to boost him up. But as you can see, these teams are very, very low level. Not even all 50. Most of them are 40. They're all ability like level 3s. As you can see, the gear tiers aren't even that big as well. So just take that as a grain of salt when looking at my roster. But let's look at Strider, not Pippin, and the glyphs that we're going with him is the Last Stand and a Bloodlust set, obviously because he's going to be doing a lot of critting, a lot of AoE with that, when you are able to bring that, upgrade that to bring it down to I think it's a 4-round charge instead of a 5-round, but you're lowering the stamina on that, but you're hitting everyone and he's going to be critting, so yes, he could be killing a lot as they go, so yes, getting that extra 30% turn meter is going to be big for him, as well as Last Stand, and as I said before, yes, the argument could be made that Last Stand would be great for everybody, to give you that 100% turn meter, dispelling any banes that are on you, and regain a stamina. Now, through some testing, what I could suggest is that if you guys don't really have built up raid teams, if they're not level 60, if they're not level 55, if they are gear tier 4 and 5, they're not up there at like 7 and 8, you could just bypass to make your team last longer is just putting that last down on. That may actually get you more rounds in for your fights, whether it be whichever chapter is for the raids, or, well, if in arena, if you're not that high, you're going to get stomped anyway, but that isn't a definite viable option. Also, the option is out there to switch your runes for each chapter, which would best situate the chapter, like putting Last Stand for Chapter 1, and then switching up to, I don't know, like if you're a Bane heavy group like Isengard, switching up to the Withering set for attacking that troll. But again, these are the sets that I am putting on there, because I'm not one of those guys that are going to be probably switching his sets around every single chapter. I like to set it and forget it. Well, not really forget it. I will be going back and seeing which runes which work best, because obviously I don't have all the secondaries I want on all my glyphs, and the odds of getting all 4 of the secondaries that you want is rare, and then having them a good roll. One tip that I do have for you guys, though, is obviously this is not a good glyph, right? What you want, rule of thumb, is you want at least all of these to be above this 50% mark. That would instate a good roll. You can have a bad one like this if it's got all 4 secondaries that you want, because yes, you might run the chance when you upgrading it later down the road, getting more in that area. But if it only has like 2 of the secondaries that you want and 2 that you don't really use on that character, I wouldn't recommend upgrading it past 5, because then you have the chance of rolling a secondary on a stat that you don't need. So, with that being out, let's actually talk about the runes. As I said, with Strider, it is the Bloodlust and the Last Stand. But what you want for your primaries down here is you want 2 damage and 1 health. And the secondary stats you are looking for is crit damage, crit chance, and health in that order. So crit damage, because he's already a crit machine, so you don't need to stack crit chance over crit damage. You want straight out flat damage, and of course, always more crit chance is best, and health always helps in every difficulty. So let's move on to our secondary damage dealer of the group, and that would be Frodo. Frodo is going to run basically the same, The Last Stand as well as Bloodlust, again for the same reasons. And the primaries you're looking for in 4, 5, and 6, though, is just straight damage. That's right. You want damage in all 3 of these slots. You want crit chance, damage, crit damage, and then speed for those secondaries. Now, as you can see, I do not have those for a lot of these. I have crit damage, I have crit chance, but I'm saddled with focus and armor. It's always reliant on the glyphs that you have currently. Would I suggest farming glyphs over character shards? No. And the reason being is currently right now we are at a deficit for energy, especially if you are trying to build your entire roster like I am. I feel that energy is used best for shard farming, because to touch that difficulty 4, you definitely want to have 7 stars on your characters. I tried it with my 6-star Rivendale team plus Naramiri. I even changed a few characters around, and I got stomped in difficulty 4. I was not even able to come close to a 900k or above that. So, again, baby steps. Get the primaries that you want. Then, once you have your primaries in the set that you want, look for your secondaries in the order of importance, such as, like I said here, crit chance, damage, crit damage, and then speed. And then once you have all those 4, then you can start leveling up higher and higher and higher, and you'll do better and better and better. Moving on from Frodo, we are going to go to the tank of the group. That's right, Sam. And with Sam, we have gone a little bit different. Obviously, you can go the 3 shield walls route. But with the, I think it's the leadership ability of Strider, where that if he crits, some of the hobbits can gain stealth. Well, having provoke on him during a stealth round with 3 shield walls, it's not really going to help us out, right? So what we want instead is, yes, we want the shield wall on there, so we do have an additional 3% of damage reduction coming in, but we want the last stand for the same exact reason. We want to be able to, since he's going to be taking a lot of damage, to be able to get that 100% turn meter. He's going to dispel the 3 Banes, or 3 of the however many Banes are on him, and getting an additional stamina, so that maybe, yes, we can either throw out another blind, or maybe we can throw out or just have another provoke on us. Those are the reasons we chose those ones. So the primaries on slots 4, 5, and 6 is going to be 2 health and 1 armor. We want, yes, a bigger health pool, but we also want him to be tankier to be able to get hit a few more times. Now, the secondaries is basically you're going to be your same tank secondaries that you're looking for on a lot of your tanks, but in this order, we want health, we want block chance, we want armor, and then we want resistance on these. And again, you could put 3 shield walls on there. It's your team. You decide how you want to play it, but I feel that this would just work out just a slight little bit better than the 3 shield walls for Sam specifically. So let's move over to our utilitarian, that is Mary. Now, Mary, I went with a Limbus set, and I went with Bloodlust. Now, obviously, there is the debate whether Limbus is even worth it, because, yes, you only get 2 stamina off it, not 4. You get once on the start of the battle, and 1 after the first time you use an ability in that battle or that wave. But I feel the faster I can get a ability off and then get it back on cooldown helps me more so than waiting to get hit to below 25% to get that additional stamina. Obviously, yes, you get 100% turn meter in 3 Banes, but if I can hit harder, faster, I just feel like I do well. Because basically, like, chapter 2, right? Chapter 2 and chapter 4 are DPS checks. So the faster I can knock down the Balrog or knock down the cave troll is going to save me time and energy in the long run. And also in arena, the ability to get my moves off faster than my opponent helps me out, can turn the tides of that fight. So, Mary, we are going Limbus set and Bloodless set. Again, if you are lower level, like these guys right here, yes, I could keep this. But if I was actually having to use them in a raid, I would test out, how am I doing so far with Limbus? Okay, maybe I should put a last stand on him. Is he surviving more with last stand? Am I scoring higher with last stand? But I would go bounce between these two. If you are leveled up, if you are, like not 6 and 7 star, if you are gear tier 8 and you have your abilities, like 5s and 6s, yes, go with Limbus, go with Bloodlust. Now, on our primaries, straight health. Health is what we want because we want that bigger health pool. And on our secondaries, again, health as the main, then speed, then block chance, then resistance on Mary. Because we want him to stick around, we want that utility, we want that haste on him. We want to be able to mark our character that we want to fight so we can circumvent any taunts or provokes. On Pippin, we are pretty much doing the exact same thing. We are going to go Limbus set, and we're going to go Bloodlust. And again, our primaries are going to be health across the board. And we want health as our main, speed as secondary. Our first secondary is health, then speed, then block chance, then resistance. Basically, exactly like Mary. And that's going to help us survive. Now, I have tested this because I use Pippin as like a half of Lord Balin in chapter 3 and chapter 4 with like Isengard, because they can't really they need something else. You know what I mean? The full Isengard team, I feel, just does not, at least mine, does not perform very well in chapters 3 and 4. Hell, in chapter 4, you can't even use most of the Banes that you have. You can't use Bleed. So, obviously, you can use the Expose from Ajak, but the Bleed, your main damage is coming from Bleed. So, like, I usually pull Ajak out of that fight and put someone else in his place. But Pippin, the ability to have the might on turn 1 is huge. It lets me, DPS even harder, especially if I can get, depending on who I'm using with, if I can get that expose off, that's additional damage I can do. Most times I'm getting the special 2 to pop for me, where it is that damage, but again, you could get that special 1, which doesn't really help you. That's just, that's the healing, that's the Bane cleansing, and of course then it's like kind of like a wasted stamina at that point. But 9 times out of 10, I have gotten the special 2. Now, the reason we went with these is because this group is, while weak without the ability upgrades, are surprisingly not lacking for the tools in their kit once you do have them upgraded. In fact, they have some of the best utility and support in the game. Also, they are a very high scoring raid team. We went with Last Stand for Frodo, Sam, and Frodo, Sam, and Strider to an extent to access some of that panic button tool, so that when we do get a big hit, we will be able to clear off any Banes. We'll get additional stamina. We have 100% turn meter to go right ahead. For Merry and Pippin, it allows you to use those utility moves that they have a lot faster. Like we talked about Merry getting that haste off. But with Pippin, since I use him as a plug and play character on chapters 3 and 4, because he is basically like half of a Lord Balin, I like the fact that the special 2 comes up on the first round, so I'm able to get that might right off the bat, which allows me to do more damage in the beginning, because again, chapters 2 and 4 are a DPS race. Obviously, this team is not as reliant on speed as Goblins, but they can benefit from a good mix of both health and speed from these glyphs. And again, Frodo and Strider are your main sources of damage, and they're going to be built accordingly. That's why we're going full damage with Frodo. That's why we're going 2 damage and a health with Strider as well. But again, this is what we chose to go with them. I am going to be doing other videos as well on even teams that aren't really fully built out, such as the Dol Guldur, such as Balin's Expedition. And we're going to be talking about Thorn's company soon. And yeah, expect those videos to come out very shortly as well. So I hope you guys found this informative, entertaining. If you like my content, please give me a subscribe, give me a like. It helps out the channel. I love helping the community. And until I talk to you guys again, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Adventure safe. And good luck to you and your fellowship.